Hey everyone, welcome to the Love to Live Healthy show. I'm Josephine Fitzpatrick, and today I am solo. Jake is actually super busy with the store, so I wanted to get a podcast out, so I'm going to do this one solo, and he will join me again next week, and we will do them together. So this week, what I really wanted to talk about was a lot of the clients. I have a significant amount of clients who have made ridiculous changes in their life, and everyone keeps asking me how they did it. They're saying, are they on the GLP-1s? Are they not on the GLP-1s? What did they do different? Why did they look so good? And I'm going to tell you basically how they have changed, because it really isn't just one thing, okay? And that's why I always say it's mentally, it's physically, it's emotionally, and it does not happen overnight. What happens is I have a client will come in. I will assess where they are in life, meaning their age, okay? I have people who are 30, 40, 50, 60s that have changed. You wouldn't even recognize them. They've changed so much. They've lost a tremendous amount of weight. They look so good physically. They have lost all fat and have replaced it with muscle. It's just amazing. And their eating habits have changed, but also their emotional has changed. They have changed on how they look at things and what they want in their life. They've kind of gotten rid of the toxic and they've embraced the positive. And listen, this doesn't happen overnight. Many of them, it's been a good 2 years where they've gotten to where they want to be, and how you would view them or how anyone would view them as a completely different person now. But remember, it's 2 years and it sounds like it's such a long time, but what we have to remember is in those 2 years, that whole journey, there's been change from the beginning. It doesn't just start and then end overnight. And it doesn't just start and then 2 years later you're where you want to be. That whole journey was change. And I think what happens is when we see people change so significantly, we look and we say, how did that happen? How did they do that? Because from the outside view, it looks like it just happened overnight. You forget or you don't realize what they have gone through. You weren't me, so you didn't see the text messages and the visits in between of the struggle and the how one day they felt amazing, the next day they didn't feel so good, or, meaning they felt heavy, they felt bloated, they didn't feel the results that they were getting, or, it wasn't enough results, because we always want instant change. And really, that first 6 months is the hardest, because even if it's 10 or 15 pounds, it's more than just losing the weight. You have to really adapt every part of your life with that weight loss, meaning the exercise has to change. It has to go by where you're at in your life right now and what's important. And meaning, when I have a 30-year-old, I may focus more on cardio and still incorporate weights, but focus more on cardio. Because listen, everyone's so busy, so I have to go by their time too. What kind of times could they put in? But then when I have someone in their late 40s or 50, I'm going to say, you got to focus more on the weights and also add cardio, but we're going to primarily focus on the weights, because you're going to lose muscle every day. And when you're losing muscle every day, you need to rebuild it. And even doing weights and basing your menu on protein, you're still going to lose muscle, because that's what happens as we age. As we go through hormonal changes, we're losing and breaking down muscle every day. So we have to replace that. And we want also the look. We want that lean look, but also toned, okay? So this is why I say everyone's so different. And I will look at a person and say, okay, I assess their age, I assess their habits, I assess their lifestyle, what they do for a living. Everything matters when it comes to changing, really significantly changing and transforming your life and transforming your body. Because it's not just your body, it is your life. And not only are you transforming it, you need to live that life, okay? I always say you don't just do the program, you have to live the program. And that's where you really see those changes come in. And as you're doing this, everything is, you're getting used to everything again, okay? But also, you're training your mind, you're training your body, you're training your stomach to eat the way you need to eat to see those changes. And again, when we start with one thing, but we end with a completely different thing. Meaning, I may start people with a lot more food and gradually taper them, and then other people I may start with less food and gradually add in. It really depends on the person and what they're looking for and what kind of changes they want. Exercise again is a huge factor, and all of these things I'm talking about, food, exercise, emotional, you have to find the balance in all that. And that is not easy when you have other people in your life that you're trying to take care of and that you care about and that need you, because all this time you're trying to put yourself first. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a selfish thing to put yourself first. In fact, I tell people all the time, it's the best thing you can do for them. Because when you don't feel good and you're not doing the right things for your body and you're not feeling the best, you're going to take it out on them one way or another. You may not yell, you may not, but what happens is you just can't deal with what they need you for. Okay, it could be something so simple, but you're like, I feel horrible. And when you feel horrible, it's going to project on who needs you. But when you feel great and you feel amazing and lighter and healthier and fitter and just know you're doing the right things, even if you're not exactly where you want to be yet, you just know you're on your way, you will deal with everything in your life so much better. Okay, that is a fact, and that's why it's not selfish to put yourself first. It's actually better for everyone that you love and you're taking care of to put yourself first, and that even includes your job, your career. People that you are associating with every day. You will be a better person when you're taking care of yourself first. Okay. You have one life. You chose this body. I believe we choose our body to live in. You have to take care of it, okay? It's not just you're here. You have to take care of everything about you being here, being in this physical body. Mentally, emotionally, physically. You have to take care of yourself. So let me get back to the reason why I wanted to do this video is because I do have so many people who have significantly changed. They look absolutely amazing, and people keep asking me how did they look that way? And like I said, I have all ages, but it's pretty obvious, the changes. I'm talking about the look of someone just feeling so good in their body, because they're nourishing their body, they're doing the right thing, and they are they're so happy with themselves for doing that. Okay, and when I say this, I mean even the exercise that I have them do relates to where they're at in their life. Like I said before, whether it's cardio, whether it's weight, but it's even certain types of weights, because you will see as women get older, your body fat can really drop. And as you get thinner, what happens is you want to have muscle tone, but not super muscular look. And I have seen women who get very thin and are super muscular, and it's fine if that's what you want. But most people I'm saying that come to me do not want that. They don't want that, like I am, like, they want more of a leaner, just toner look. It's more of a toned look in a thin body, okay? Maybe like a dancer's body would be a good comparison. And I will tell you, it's a beautiful look, and it's hard to achieve, believe it or not. It's actually easier to achieve those really thick muscles because you're lifting heavy weights and you're just, you're eating a lot less. But to get that leaner dancer's look, I'm going to call it, it's a lot of light weights, it's a lot of repetitions, and it's a lot of different types of exercises combined. You have to do some heavy weights, you have to do a lot of light weights, a lot of repetitions, you have to do upper body, lower body, you have to do a lot of core work. And on top of all that, you have to do cardio, okay? Because I always say, we're getting the tone look from the weights, but we're also getting the leaner look from the cardio. So you have to do both, okay? And that's what's really important when you are going into a fitness plan. You need to learn to do both. So, and you have to balance both. And I think that's what's so hard, is we find it hard to balance all these things that we want to improve ourselves. But when you find that time and you make that time, every day we have 24 hours. Everyone has the same amount of hours. And no, we don't all have the same responsibilities. However, you have to prioritize what works for you, what is right for you, and what you can do. And that's what you have to go with, you know? But I will tell you, it's a huge difference when you see someone who has changed their life and has really made a difference. And everyone notices it because it's a beautiful thing. It shows and it gives people hope that yes, you can do it if you really put the work in, if you really make the time. And, you know, of course, it takes, like, you're not sitting on the couch for hours binging. You are doing what you have to do. You are not, blowing off a workout. You are doing what you have to do. It takes consistency, it takes responsibility and discipline. And that's not easy, because we have that in a lot of areas of our life. And now we're doing it on something that we know we don't need to do, but we also need, we also know that if we do it, it's going to make us so happy. So that is the difference. But I really wanted to just put this out there and say, like, listen, you can do it if you want to. The biggest thing, and when people ask me, how did this one change? How did that one change? How does this one do that? Everyone is different. I can absolutely help you if you're looking for help, whether you're on a GLP-1, whether you're not on a GLP-1. I can help you change and make the changes you want and be the person you have to be, or the person you want to be. But you have to put the time and you have to put the consistency in, and you have to be able to be disciplined, and you have to be able to follow what I'm telling you, because it's not a one size fits all. Everyone is different, and you have to just keep putting that time in and going through it. And when you do that, that's when you see the biggest difference. That's when you see the biggest changes, and that's when all of a sudden everyone's like, what happened? How did that person change so much? That's how. Okay? Because they followed and they learned to live the program, okay? And that's huge. It's a big thing. It's exciting. So if you have any questions, please always DM me. I'm always available. Leave me a message down below. But I will tell you that everyone is capable of change and doing and living the life they want to live if they're willing to put the time and work in. I hope this helps. I hope everyone has the most amazing day and week. And Jake and I will be back next week to talk about our next topic. Have a great one, everyone.